Noon, wherever you may be in the world. Thank you for joining me for another edition of the Truth Conductor Show. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there and all of the women who are standing in the role of mama. But, man, I want to address this issue because I had a couple of people to approach me today about being a Muslim. And it puzzles me why people think I'm a part of the Nation of Islam. I mean, I sometimes I can be walking down the street and people will greet me, Assalamu alaikum. And I'm like, what are you saying? That you think I'm a Muslim? Now, I have nothing against the Nation of Islam. Matter of fact, I'll have nothing but respect for the Nation of Islam because those guys, when we were the murder capital of the world, were the only people that could go anywhere in the city and nobody would mess with them. Okay? And I mean, they could go anywhere. And even to this day, the Nation of Islam can go in any neighborhood in the black community untouched. And I'm just trying to figure out, what is it about me that make people think that, is it because I got some discipline? Is that what it is? Is it my mannerism? I mean, I'm just trying to figure out. I mean, a white guy actually came up to me today and say, "You remember the Nation of Islam?" No. You look like a Muslim. And he told me I look like Malcolm X. Sitting there with my hand on, and I'm like, what I do? What did I do? And maybe that's why a lot of people don't respond to me, because they think I'm a Muslim. And I believe in Jesus Christ. I don't follow Muhammad. Them brothers that follow Muhammad, God bless them. I got nothing to say against them. None whatsoever. But I'm just trying to figure out, what is it that people are seeing that associates me with a Muslim? Okay, that's what I'm trying to figure out. And being that folk are afraid and they won't speak up, see, a lot of them are afraid to tell you, to have an honest conversation with you. Okay? So I don't know, but I just said, you know what? Let me get on here and set the record straight. Because maybe subconsciously, the reason I don't get the support that I get is because people do think I'm a member of the Nation of Islam for whatever reason. I mean, I'm 71 years young. I can't change the way I am now. I mean, that's crazy for me to try to change who I am right now at this age. So, I don't know. I don't know. But the only thing I can say is, and even in my fraternity, there are a lot of Muslims that are in my fraternity. Man, I mean, you know, and I treat them brothers with respect. We might disagree philosophically on some stuff, but you know, I came up, I saw what Malcolm X went through and how he was treated. I saw that with my own eyes. I came out of that era, you know. So you know, I'm just trying to figure out what is it. I mean, is it my look? Is it my attire? I mean, what is it that people associate me with being a Muslim? I'm just trying to figure out what it is. Yeah, I fast. I do fast. I'm on a fast now. I've been on it. This is my 5th day being on a liquid fast. I haven't had any food in 5 days because I'm believing God for some stuff. Okay. I Well, yeah, it's a lot of black Muslims in D.C. That it is. It's a lot of them in D.C. You know, but well, what that got to do with me? What that got to do with me? Because I live in a city with a lot of Muslims. You know, why are you lumping me into that category? That's all I want to know. What is it about me that say I'm a Muslim? And I've never been affiliated. I've never joined, never done any of that. You know, listen, I was a street vendor, and I used to be out 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning by myself, vending. And okay, and I would buy bean pies. And the reason I would buy bean pies, because I wanted them brothers to know who I was, so that if they ever saw me in distress, they would come to my aid. And one time they did. I think this was back in maybe the 80s or early 90s. I was at the University of Maryland. They had a basketball game out there, and I was out there vending, and I was by myself. And I had all my shirts spread out on the ground, and they started trying to bum rush me to steal my stuff. And then these 2 Muslim guys that I would buy game pies from recognized who I was, and they said, "Hey, black man, you all right?" I said, "No, I ain't." "No, I'm not. I'm not all right. They trying to steal my stuff." And them guys came over, man, and made them people back up and say, "Get your stuff, man, and put it in your truck. Sell it out of your truck." And that's you know, because I would see them. And on top of the fact, I like the bean pie. I don't eat them no more because aluminum is partly responsible for Alzheimer's. So I don't cook with aluminum foil. I don't eat anything out of aluminum. Okay, because it's responsible for Alzheimer's. So but before I became knowledgeable of that, shoot, man, I'd buy me one of them bean pies in a minute. I mean, them things, they good. I mean, they good. And if they change the container that they put them in, I start buying them again. But as long as they in that aluminum, they're baking them in those aluminum containers, I don't want to have nothing to do with them. Okay? Yeah, aluminum foil. Look it up. Look it up. Aluminum foil, aluminum cooking with aluminum is what causes Alzheimer's. It's one of the things that cause Alzheimer's. It does. So I just stop eating anything. If I go into a restaurant and they serving out of them aluminum container, I don't want to have nothing to do with them. I'm not buying the food. It's just that simple. I'm not buying it. That's why if you look at a lot of deodorant has aluminum in it. Okay? A lot of deodorant has aluminum in it. And that's one of the things. My deodorant is aluminum free. See, there are a lot of things that we're not conscious of. We think it's good for us, and it's actually harming us. And like I said, when you get this age, ain't no sense in you trying to switch up to be something different. Be who you are. And that's all I try to be, is who I am. I try to respect people. I try to treat people right. I'm no nonsense. You ain't gonna talk to me any kind of way. You ain't gonna treat me any kind of way. I'm not gonna accept it. And you will know because of my mannerism. When you done cross the line, I ain't got to say a word. You'll know by the way when you look at me that you done crossed the line. So if that is what make people think that I'm a Muslim, hey man, I can't change it now. Too far gone. All right, but I just wanted to address that because I had a couple people that were honest enough to come up and ask me, "Are you a Muslim?" No. What makes you think that? Or just by the way you look? What is it about the way I look makes you think I'm a Muslim? I mean, what? What I do? What I do? Man, this was a crazy day. Steve. Man, that's Steve. That's the one thing the one regret that I have, that I didn't take more pictures with my grandmother. And you know what? That's the only one that I didn't see die. I saw my grandfather, I saw my father, and I saw my mother make the transition. But I didn't see my grandmother. That's the only one I didn't see was my grandmother. And I don't know if and see, this is one of the things that I was trying to tell people today down in front of the White House with Mother's Day. I say, man, make some memories. That's the one thing you think you got another chance and you might not have. Make some memories. I was trying to get people to give a shout out, a Mother's Day shout out with their moms, that were in front of the White House to say, you don't know what next Mother's Day is going to be. Don't take it for granted that you're going to get another chance. And a lot of people, man, looked at me like a cow looking at a new gate. They look at my sign, look at me, and keep walking. That's the response I get when I'm in front of the White House and I'm talking. People will look at my sign, look at me, and keep right on walking. And yet we always assume there's a tomorrow, and it ain't. It's not. And that's the mistake a lot of people make. And I just happened to realize going through my, I said, that, this is the only picture that I got with my grandmother. The only picture. And I would drive her around everywhere my grandmama needed to go. I was the one that drove her around because she dipped snuff. And my cousins didn't want her in their car because sometimes when she spit in her snuff cup, she would miss it. And snuff be all over your car. But see, what they didn't know was my grandmama was filling up my tank of gas and putting a little change in my pocket. So I put up with her. She said, I need to go somewhere. Let's go. Because I know she gonna fill up my tank and she gonna put a little change in my pocket. And I never will forget. My grandmother loved funerals. She didn't have to know the people. If she see a funeral, she wanted to stop and see who it was and what was going on. And one day, we were going back home, and my grandmother said, baby, she had her snuff cup, spit in it, and this is just the way my grandmother said this. She said, when them fuckers looking at you, give them something to see. I said, what you say, Makara? She said, listen, when them fuckers are looking at you, that's when you give them something to see. And I said, yes, ma'am. And that's been my motto ever since. See, a lot of y'all be worried about people looking at you, and that's when you need to be giving them something to see. Give them something to talk about. And you worried about them looking at you instead of giving them something to see. All right? Anyway, like I said, and I'm not disparaging. Well, yes, we're lacking discipline, Steve. It's what we're lacking. We're lacking discipline because everybody wants it just like this. They don't want to work for it. They don't want to have to go through nothing. They don't want to have to do anything because they want it like this. And see, most of them are getting it just like this. And that's what's hurting them. Because it's coming so fast and so easy that when they do hit a bump in the road, they throw their hands up. Because they ain't got no discipline and they ain't got no perseverance about them. See, when they run into a bump now, man, they start crying foul. Screaming and crying instead of trying to figure out a way around what they're doing. And notice, right now, society only promotes negativity and easy. See, if it's easy and negative and demonizing, you can get rich overnight. You can get rich overnight. Demonizing people, dividing people. Thank you, Yaya. So that's that's what I see, and the temptation is not to fall into that trap where you'll start demonizing people, where you'll start dividing people. Okay? Yeah, I wish Periscope would be back, man, but you got to make do with what you got. All right? So to those of you who might have assumed that I've been a part of the Nation of Islam? No. No. That's not me. Never have been me. Okay? And I don't know what it is about me that gives people that impression. Okay? But anyway, man, y'all be blessed. I'll see you later.